A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 137th edition of the Together for Education webinars brought to you by Notebook. More than a year and a half ago, in April 2020, when the pandemic had just started, we at Notebook felt that it was our duty to put together a platform where educators could come and share the various problems that they were facing and arrive at common solutions. More than 135, 136 episodes later, we have continued on. We have discussed a myriad range of topics, and we have created perhaps the largest congregation of educators anywhere in the country. And for that, we have your love and appreciation to thank. So thank you. A big thank you to each and every one of you. Last session, we discussed the Sahodaya Schools Complex, a national structure created by the CBSE, where schools affiliated to the CBSE can come together to form regional cooperative structures. However, today we look at the larger gamut of inter-school collaboration. The scope for organic collaboration between schools is quite immense. Today we will look at how they collaborate and what values they see in collaborating. To speak about this, the first speaker today is Achin Bhattacharya. Achin is the founder and CEO at Notebook. A chartered accountant by training, Achin was a director at Deloitte prior to starting Notebook. He has worked in India and abroad in various senior capacities in GE, PwC, KPMG, and Deloitte. He is a fellow of the ICAI and a member of CPA Australia and CPA Ireland. He is also the recipient of the prestigious Indian Achievers Award. Achin is an avid reader and a passionate traveler with keen interests in economics, history, literature, and philosophy. He is a regular speaker at various forums and chambers of commerce and also contributes articles to numerous publications regularly. He is also on the board of some of the most renowned corporates and contributes significantly to their brand strategies. Achin, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Shubha, am I audible?
Achin, loud and clear.
I once again welcome all of you to today's session on a very relevant topic. Over the last 20 years, more than 2 decades, I'd say rather, inter-school collaborations have become increasingly common as a mechanism for improving educational and social outcomes. And this I'm discussing about a global phenomenon. Because countries around the world have incorporated a more collaborative approach into their education systems in order to improve attainment, reduce inequality, and address division among social, economic, or ethnic lines. Here I would like to discuss about a very well-known example of inter-school collaboration. I'm sure many esteemed educators in this forum are well aware about this. An initiative called Beacon Schools, which emerged in England and Wales in the late 90s. Their aim was to twin high-performing schools with failing schools and funding them to build partnerships to share best practice in order to improve performance. Later years, in more recent times, the London Challenge, and later its extension to other cities, to the City Challenge, built on this approach by encouraging schools to work in partnership to raise standards and support the sharing of best practices. Such initiatives, and not only we discuss about UK, but I think these have been replicated elsewhere around the globe. In Scotland, for example, again going back to UK, in Scotland, for example, with the School Improvement Partnership Program, similar school collaboration networks, as I was telling you, around the globe, I think in US, Europe, Hong Kong, many different parts of the world. With regard to social outcomes, inter-school collaborations have been particularly used to reduce prejudice and promote positive community relations in areas which are more characterized by racial and ethnic division. In the context of divided societies, education policymakers around the globe, and here we're discussing about, of course, a global phenomenon, have consistently promoted ways to improve children's education, and in the process, a more larger objective of community cohesion to school level action. So while this integrated or disaggregated education has been widely used to try to improve community cohesion, and here we can discuss about many examples. For instance, I was reading about this magnet schools in the US. I was also reading about this bilingual, bi-national schools in Israel, where Arabs and Jews are educated together. Inter-school collaborations offer an alternative approach to this. Rather than drawing individuals from diverse backgrounds into a common school, inter-school collaboration allows schools to retain their distinctive ethos while increasing meaningful and sustained contact between members of separate group through educational initiative activities. One of the most extensive examples is in Northern Ireland, where there's a program called Sharing Education Program. I found this very interesting. It has supported more than 100 primary and post-primary schools to engage in collaborative projects across various social divides, religious divides, and sought to improve both, on one hand, education, on the other hand, social outcomes. So the use of inter-school collaborations to address the effect of, as we were discussing, racial and ethnic divisions, and thus promote social outcome has also been seen, as we discussed, Israel. I was reading about instances in Bosnia, Cyprus, with varying levels of success. There are many possible mechanisms through which school collaborations may bring about change in educational or social outcomes. The schools collaborating to share professional expertise may improve teaching practice and in turn lead to better educational outcomes for students. Now, very practically, schools collaborating to share resources. So, be it equipment, staff, learning resources, may also improve the standards of overall standards of education, standards of teaching, and learning outcomes. There are a number of theories that have been applied to explicate why collaboration may be a useful route to educational improvement. For example, I was reading about this Cognate program. Cognate program, which applied social constructivist theory to explain improvements in standardized test scores in intervention schools as compared to comparison schools. So collaboration for improving social outcome tend to use contact theory as the main theoretical perspective, wherein increasing positive contact between different groups lead to improved social relation between the groups. Also, it can take many forms. It can be named like, be it federation, consortia, partnership, network, confederation, collegiate. Now, these terms may be interchangeable up to some extent, but all of these refer to some form of schools working together towards a common goal. The various schemes for classifying and describing inter-school collaboration have been proposed. I was reading about this 4-level typology of school collaboration that builds from exchanging information, which is networking, joint activities, which is coordination, sharing resources, which is cooperation, and enhancing capacity of partners, which is collaboration. Likewise, there's a very popular theory, 3 principal dimension of inter-school collaboration, which was first brought into light by Atkinson, Springate, Johnson, and Hasley. Organizational commitment and support being the first one, penetration of the collaboration being the second one, and holding a joint investment or a vision, which is very, very important. We were reading about this twinning and how it really works. Others have classified inter-school collaborations in terms of different combination of schools or type of partners involved. Now, it can be different time. For instance, performance federations focused on linking high and low performing schools. mainstreaming collaborations, linking special and mainstream schools, academic collaborations, or chains of schools with the same sponsors. As we see, large chain of schools, lot many schools. Evidence on effectiveness of inter-school collaboration has been inhibited by the variety of different approaches taken, and also the difficulties in isolating the effect of inter-school collaboration, because there's a lot of complexity involved in terms of this initiative. So it's really important to have a more cohesive vision, where we are very clear about the objectives as to what we want to achieve. And also, objectives need to be measurable from time to time, so as to ensure that there is appropriate actions which are taken in terms of trajectory change which are needed. So we discussed about this London Challenge, for example. Now, in this particular initiative, early indicators suggested that participating schools were experiencing significantly faster improvements in exam results than schools in the rest of England. The problem, however, was that it involved much more than schools collaborating. There's a lot of other initiatives were happening at the same time. Same time in UK, a lot of other initiatives which were aimed at improving learning outcome, aimed at improving the entire schooling ecosystem was happening. Be it increasing funding, push to improve more data usage, data literacy in schools, greater support from local authorities. So a lot many initiatives. It's very difficult to draw a direct and find it out that what kind of correlation or effect there was. But there's no doubt about it that there was rapid improvement. And after a large extent, collaboration played a very key role. Similar examples have also been seen in other places, wherein we have seen consistently, and a lot of research has been happened in this regard, which again and again prove that how effective inter-school collaborations have been. Now, the problem is that there are many different ways to collaborate with different objectives, and considering this, we need to ensure that since there are different models, there are different objectives, and each model has its own pros and cons. So we need to be very clear with regard to exactly what we want to achieve. Now, the other part is we can also look at it through different routes through which school collaboration may bring about positive change, and different objectives that we were discussing about. One maybe solving immediate problems, such as budget cuts, economic benefit of schools coming together, economies of scale, reducing unnecessary duplication of facilities, maximizing their use with little extra investment. It can also be pairing that we discussed, underperforming schools with performing schools, with an objective that. So initially, when we started this, we discussed about this entire concept of twinning, so as to ensure that high-performing schools, sharing of best practices, etc., they help the underperformers also to come up. The other is addressing vulnerable group of learners, students who may need more time. So schools who are doing well in this regard, if they share their best practices and they help others to come up the learning curve. Also, professional development, very important. Educators may benefit at times immensely from peer-to-peer learning. That again happens. We are just putting a name to it. Also, social benefits of collaboration, especially pertinent in the context of societies that are divided in terms of ethnic lines. And again, it has been proved that collaborations they have a tremendous impact in terms of ensuring cohesion among different social groups. Of course, we discussed there are challenges, including maybe initial resistance from various quarters, generating effects which are sustainable, lasting, and also being able to devise a win-win formula, being able to negotiate a win-win arrangement. But of course, it is possible, provided there's right intent in place. Now, in addition to the routes through which collaboration will bring about positive outcome, There's been various in-depth case studies which have highlighted some factors that may contribute to successful collaboration. Most important, prior positive experience of collaboration. People who are involved in the decision-making process. Also, shared vision, very important. Effective leadership goes without saying. Commitment in terms of staff commitment, in terms of people who are involved. And of course, external support and funding. Now, intervention will vary in terms of their focus or purpose with regard to the extent and depth of collaboration. At the level of an individual child, the effect of inter-school collaboration may vary according to characteristics. The effect may vary from student to student. But undoubtedly, overall, there's a huge positive impact. And of course, learners, they're the ultimate beneficiaries. Now, these are some thoughts that I wanted to share. We have a wonderful panel here today. And I really look forward to the deliberation in this particular topic. I thank all of you for giving me a patient hearing. Over to you, Shubhai.
Thank you, Achin. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Achin mentioned, we do have a fantastic panel lined up for you. But before that, we would like to tell you a little bit about Notebook. We at Notebook are an EdTech product who make short videos pertaining to the school curriculum. Now, these videos come in handy in two cases. One, when you as a teacher use these videos as a visual introduction to the topic you're about to teach. Regardless of the subject or the topic that you're teaching, you would always find a Notebook video that gives a visual introduction using videos to that particular topic. Well, months later, when students have to revise that topic for their exam or test, they have access to the same videos on their personal devices, be it a laptop or a smartphone. The students can watch the videos over and over again and get a fair idea of what the topic is all about, and also get reminded of what you had taught in class that day when the video was played. I will now play a short snippet of one of the Notebook videos so that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The narrator muses that it was probably a moment of celebration for the tigers of Pratibandhapuram, as the state or the government banned hunting of tigers by anyone except the king. The king was set upon fulfilling his challenge and neglected all other duties towards his people. He faced no challenges or threats in the beginning, even though he faced situations where he fought the tigers with his bare hands. A mere prediction was enough to set him off on a lifelong track which made him neglectful of his duties and responsibilities as a king. He also faced a threat of losing his throne to the British. A high-ranking British officer who was fond of tiger hunting visited Pratibandhapuram. He was even fonder of being photographed with the tigers he had shot. Tiger hunting was considered a royal sport in ancient India. It was begun by the Mughal ruler Akbar and was followed by the British officers who ruled India. These hunted tigers were considered prized trophies which earned these kings and officials power and prestige. Thus, it was a mad scramble for power and prestige. The Maharaja, however, refused to grant permission for the hunt. He said he would gladly allow them to go for a boar hunt or a mouse hunt or even a mosquito hunt. He even refused to let the officer be photographed with the body of the dead tiger, which the Maharaja himself might kill.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a short snippet of one of the Notebook videos. If you head over to our website, www.notebook.school, or use our mobile apps for Android or iOS, you would have more than 10,000 such videos at your disposal. Well, now that it is time to meet the wonderful guest speaker that we have speaking on this particular topic today. Mrs. Sunita Rai is presently the principal of PDEA's Eon Gyanankur English School in Kharadi, Pune, having 18 years of experience in teaching and academic administration. She has been awarded many times for outstanding performance in administration and remarkable leadership contribution in the field of education. An optimistic, enthusiastic, and versatile leader who believes in knowledge and technology, Mrs. Rai believes in enhancement and vigorous work for student development and staff welfare. She is a visionary leader who owns the ability to anticipate and resolve the conflicts professionally and attempts challenges with great amount of ease. Ma'am, thank you so much for spending the time to be here today. We are privileged to have you as a speaker. I shall stop my share now and start my camera so that we can see each other. Mrs. Rai, if I may please request you to please put on your camera.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening and
Yeah.
welcome to Developer Education.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubhayu. And thank you so much, Notebook, for giving me this opportunity. It's a very big and a great opportunity for me and a great platform where we all can collaborate in the field of education and may share our views for a better, approach of us towards a better world for our children. Okay, so that they can be, meaningful citizens for our society. Thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Now, my first question to you: do you actively engage in collaborating with other schools? And if you do, how do you do that?
Yes, yes. If we if we want to be updated and if we want the best for our children, if we talk individually approaching towards the goals and aims associated to the betterment of the children, I think it will be only one approach. If a single school is working on its own. But when we collaborate, then the number of teams collaborate, the number means n number of minds also collaborate along with it. So better ideas, better perspectives, better approach, and better platform for the children. So a new horizon opens for us where we have better perspective to achieve the aim and objective to make our world a better world and our children better citizens for the society. So yes, and you said how we collaborate. So there are so number of ways in collaboration. For example, the webinar I'm part of today is in itself is a collaboration. Yes, where the team of Notebook along with the so many people are coming together. And me myself was very much curious about it to know about the other things from the other individuals, other respective people present here. We conduct competitions, healthy competitions, yes, where secretively we want to know about what is going on best into practices in the other schools. Then we have school meets. We conduct school meets. Then we visit among ourselves one school to the other, so we come to know many of the things, the ambience, the culture, the approach towards the parents, towards the children, then the learning teaching methodologies. There are so many things which we explore in collaboration. So yes, it should be there, it should be there in a healthy manner and on a bigger platform. If I personally believe, see, if we are talking about the development of the society or for the growth of our nation, then beauty with mind, we say. So heart with mind, we say. So there are schools who are very good in infra. There are schools who are lacking in infra, but who have a better perspective, better ideas. So when all these come together, a better world, a better society, and a better platform for our children. So yes, we do collaborate and we believe in collaborating in the future also. Thank you.
That is wonderful to hear, ma'am. If I may ask for, ma'am, is there a specific project that you would perhaps like to talk about where you have collaborated with another school?
See, if I talk about uh, when we talk about the integrated learning, as we are part of CBSE, okay, so we need to integrate these subjects. Along with it, we need to integrate the culture and traditions of the other state also. Okay, for example, Maharashtra was associated with Odisha. Okay, so fortunately, I'm part of Sahodaya and the CBSE district group schools also. So in one of these seminar, we met principals and the teachers from Odisha. Okay, so physically it would have been possible, but online now, though it is boundless. We can say it is limitless. So there were many of the things which we interchanged. We talked about the culture, the traditions, and then we talk about how the students can, exchange programs are being conducted between us and those schools. So yes, online and this specific collaboration has provided a better perspective, where if I come out of the box of thinking that I know everything and I am the best, it's not like that. There is always a scope of learning something. Yeah. So yes, we are working on in collaboration.
Wonderful, ma'am. In fact, when we did the session last time about Sahodaya Schools Complex, this was one of the points that we mentioned, that with everything going online, now the whole regional structure of Sahodaya, it has to kind of make way for more international collaborations, more, cross-border collaborations.
Yes, exactly.
Now, the thing is, schools collaborate, and as you said, there are great values. The biggest beneficiary is, of course, the students. But schools also compete, right? You are in CBSE, you would have a competition with other schools in Pune under CBSE regarding admissions and other things, or even inter-school competitions. How does competition and collaboration coexist?
See, it depends. Again, I said it depends on our perspective. See, the biggest and the commonest aim for every educationist is to provide, meaningful education to a child. We want a child to be skilled, skilled and a better citizen of our society. Okay, and whether we may compete on negative front or on the positive front, in the end we want to achieve this specific target. Okay, that we want a better world for our children. We want them to be better citizens of our society, and they may contribute meaningfully to the world. Okay, so when the aim and the objective is same, I don't think so there will be any type of clashes. Okay, when we are talking about competition, yes, competition is there and competition should be there. Then only we all will be on our toes, and we will, fight and work for the betterment. And there will always be a scope for learning, So yes, competition should be there. I'm still in competition. There are so many schools nearby in the periphery. So in terms of competition, if we talk about, yes, we want our children to be the best. Okay, but what is common between each and every one of us, being a teacher or being an educator or a facilitator and a guide, that we want the best to be out, of the child. We want the maximum of the potential of the child to be out, and he or she should their best in achieving the goals and objectives. That's fine. Yes, we are in competition.
Wonderful, ma'am. In fact, that is why teaching is called the noble profession, right? When you keep coming across this line, it takes a village to raise a child. Now the village comes together. Now we just touched upon the idea of online collaborations, right? But we have also had a long legacy of how we collaborate within the city or go to another school that's geographically close to us. What do you see are the various places of collaboration, and do you have like a wish list of schools abroad or different kinds of places that you want to collaborate with?
See, means online, this, to be very frank, this pandemic has been like a boon for us, to be very frank. Coming on the online platform, the complete galaxy is open to us. Okay, yes, ironically saying, yes, we may reach to the n number of nations of the world, but we can reach now any nation, any school of the world, so the total idea of education, teaching, learning process has taken a revolution. We personally, if I talk about myself, I was not that much tech savvy. Still, I am a learner in many of the things, but it has totally changed the perspective. There are many of the things when physical trainings and physical, seminars were being conducted. So there were many of the shortcomings because of which most of the students or most of the teachers were not able to be part of it. Now, though, there is no stopping. So yes, online platform has given out of the box horizon for all of us, to explore and to learn and to accept the things which are still to be explored in the field of education. Yes.
Wonderful, ma'am. But right now, this is your perspective. Going back to the earlier point of competition, when you reach out to another principal and say, let's collaborate or let's do something together,
We are still in we are still in collaboration. To be very frank, if I talk about Sahodaya, I'm a part of a team, and its name is Harmony Hub. Okay, we are part of 6 to 7 schools in the group. Okay, and now and then we conduct online competitions. You know, where it's not like that only the schools are closed physically, but on the online platform, whether it is about the teachers or the principals or the students, parents, also they all are working together. You know, they are on their toes to explore, to show. And you know what is the best part, what I have explored through the online mode, the children who were lacking, you know, self esteem and self confidence, and specifically talking about the backbenchers of they are far more skilled, you know, they are far more talented. Means this platform has shown us, I have many of my students who have their own YouTube channels, you know, so they are doing very well. And the things which I don't know, to be very frank, the first time when we conducted, you know, going live on FB, you know, last year, so my ninth standard student taught us, he trained us, making us all sit together and you know, working. So yes, it has totally changed my perspective as the principal personally. You know, every child has a talent, and this online platform is helping them to increase their not only self-esteem but their sense of responsibilities. Okay, they are exploring, definitely they are exploring. It's not only that a teacher is there in a class of 40 students. So the best part means, although we are making the children to keep their audios, videos on, but then also the talented one, although they are not showing their faces, but the talent is being seen. You know, so yes, means it's a very good way. This pandemic has brought people together, you know, the families together. Many of the parents, they hardly knew about their children, what they are doing, what they are studying, what the teachers are doing. You know, we were so like very bad named, most of the teachers of the schools. If I'll talk about क्या करते हैं, कुछ तो करते ही नहीं है, बस बिठा देते हैं बच्चों को. Now they know what pain we all take, because they are also observing the things. Okay, so now we have started getting the affection of the parents also. So yes, it has you know, definitely improved each and every one of us. It has not only increased our skills on the technical or on the educational front, but as a human also, now we have become more patient and you know, more understanding. So empathy, which is the core essence of CBSE in the curriculum, yes, yes. I think this pandemic has made each and every one of us a very good human being.
Wonderful one. I mean, it's been a curve for us, you know. When we started this 1.5 years ago, and now we have seen more advantages than disadvantages. Obviously, there's been a lot of loss. This has been an untold tale of sorrow globally. But looking at the silver lining is quite thick.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Now, on this platform, we've had principals from around the world, right? I will try to remember a few names. So, in the east, we've had Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Indonesia. We've had India, obviously, a lot of people. We'll have a lot of countries in the Middle East, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Sharjah, UAE. They have been very well covered. We had people from Finland, from Africa, Kenya, and Uganda. We've had people from Nigeria, and we've had people even from the US. So that's the width of notebooks together for education. If
Great.
you had a choice of collaborating with schools, which part of the spectrum would you prefer?
Means you are talking in terms of means physical, geographically you are talking about as such, or
Right now, everything is online, so we are looking at more of an online collaboration only.
I'm fine with anything and everything, to be very frank. See, every individual or every part or anything and everything has something to teach us, you know. And what is the best about our institution? If I talk about Pune District Education Association, we are part of the institution, and our motto of the institution is Bahujan Hitai and Bahujan Sukhai. Okay, so to be very frank, we are open. We provide an open platform. To be very frank, being the principal, I have been provided with an open platform to learn, to teach, and to give the best what is available into the market to my children. So if I am getting an opportunity for the collaboration where I can bring something good, meaningful for my team, for my staff, for my parents, for my students, I am happy and I am ready with anything and everything.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are the questions I had. Thank you so much for sparing your time. It's been an absolute privilege having you on this platform. Also, if we can help you connecting with any of those different countries or the principles that we've had from those countries, we'll be happy to make the introductions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the formal vote of thanks. I think we've had a wonderful work session. Over to you.
Thank you.
I think really a wonderful session we had, no doubt about it. Thank you so much, Sunita ma'am, for your time. Really, we all stand benefited. So I think first and foremost, I really like a lot of positive vibes in what you said. And healthy competition, that really is self-explanatory and that defines the purpose when we are trying to distinguish and discuss about how collaboration can take place in spite of competition that is also there. So I think healthy competition really it goes a long way. And visiting other schools with an open mind and aspects like be it ambience, be it the culture, be it parent interaction, and ensuring that best practices are freely accepted with a flexible mindset to unlearn and relearn. I think that goes a long way. The other part is, I think, ma'am, you made a wonderful point with regard to the boundless possibilities that online offers. Undoubtedly, right now, undoubtedly, what we have seen over the last 1.5 years with the kind of tech adoption, with the kind of with the kind of collaboration that are taking place between people from around the world, undoubtedly possibilities are endless, and so are the dreams of our beloved nation. So I think it's a great way of looking at it. Of course, we have seen this together in our Together for Education webinar as well as various other forums. So I think great exchange of ideas and thoughts are taking place. So really overall wonderful session. I thank you so much for being a part of this. I also thank members of the esteemed audience. Just before I sign off, on behalf of the entire Notebook team, I wish all of you a very happy Navratri and Durga Puja. Incidentally, next week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 13th and 16th, we will not be conducting any sessions for Together for Education webinar because of Navratri. And of course, in the next week, we look forward to welcoming all of you again in the first session of Together for Education webinar. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.